Now joining us from Nashville, Daniel Lovitz. Daniel, thanks for joining us. We just heard from your national team teammates, Jordan Morris, Christian Roldan, and I just want to ask you from your perspective, that January camp seems like lifetime ago. How did that camp end? And then going into March, you guys got these 2 European friendlies. It just seems like that was a year ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, I think. More than anything, it was good to have those 2 friendlies to look forward to have them be in prominent markets against good opposition and kind of be the next phase for this group entering into a new year, a year that has a lot of qualifying, a lot of tournament play that's super important for us. So it was really strange to have that stripped away at such an early date and now to kind of be flying by the seat of our pants a little bit. But, I think everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's doing in their respective clubs the most they can to stay fit, stay ready for whatever opportunities we're allowed to partake in later on down the road. And hopefully we're able to do so in a safe manner.
Talk about flying by the seat of your pants. Daniel, it could be the next U.S. men's national team game is a World Cup qualifier. Is that odd?
Yeah, it's a crazy notion. We'll have to adapt as we always do. I don't think it's how we would draw it up or how anyone would like to enter into that format for sure for the first time, but it makes it all the more exciting. It's something that we're comfortable with, and we're going to move forward. And like I said, hopefully there are some few or whatever scarce opportunities before that to kind of step into and get the group together in whatever format it may be. But if it's not the case and we just have a short camp and then the games, I think we've all done a really good job over the last year and the last few months of staying connected and on the same page, and that's all you can ask for.
Daniel, it's interesting because every time you bring up the U.S. men's national team on the outside, obviously everyone goes back to, well, they failed to qualify for the World Cup. And yet there's always this conversation about a quote-unquote lack of team identity. We've even heard a teammate of yours, Zach Steffen, bring that up, even though when I watched the interview, I thought Zach Steffen was more talking about the time in that transition to get to Gregg Berhalter. But when you hear all of us on the outside talk about this, what does it mean to you guys in the group inside?
It's difficult to hear it, obviously, when you're on the inside, you're living it, you're breathing it. You know the truth of how we feel about each other as a group, how we know where we're going, we know how we're going to do it. But it's the nature of the beast. You understand that not everybody can be in those rooms, be in those training sessions and understand what we're trying to put together. And you have to accept it and, in one ear, out the other. But for us, in the grand scheme of things, it's a fair thing to say. We're a relatively new regime under this new direction, and we're trying to accomplish something at a great scale. And anytime you do that, I don't want to say baby steps, but you have to get things out of the way. And I think our first calendar year, that first cycle was huge. And I think this is really the brunt, and this is the most important part of this process now, is entering into really meaningful games where we're trying to right a past wrong of a pretty big magnitude. And I think that's really when you find out about a group, and those are the moments and opportunities that the character and the identity really becomes more well-defined.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. Daniel, in my opinion, the identity starts when you guys qualify for a World Cup, and then the results happen. Whenever we talk about team identities, it's the 94, 98. It's all based on that success in the World Cup. Let's move to Nashville because, my word, buddy, it's been an interesting time for you in Nashville. I don't think I can even ask you right now, what's Nashville like? Because with everything off the field, on the field, lack of games, no games, tornadoes, Daniel, you've had quite a time in Nashville, Tennessee so far.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, to say the least. Obviously, the stuff as of late has been a little bit jarring for everybody and kind of thrown us off our normal routine, which we were all super excited to get into, being our first year together at the MLS level. But yeah, even before that, we got back from preseason. We had a great opening game. The experience was once in a lifetime. It was, a really great starting point, minus the result, of course. We moved to Portland, another great environment, another great market to play in, a great test against a team that's always great to play against at home. And, we thought we had a decent performance. Again, not the result, but we felt good about where we were going. And, from a life standpoint, we're coming off of a week where we have a lot of guys that, their most important piece of their life is kind of crashing down in terms of what happened with the tornado, and you have to lean on guys. And it was a really cool experience. If there was a silver lining, to see everybody come together from the city, from the team. I think everyone was offering their place up for these families and these couples and these guys to come stay at their own houses. I thought that was really cool. And we always say that stuff, but it's different when it actually happens and you have to be there. So it was really strange. And then we're getting ready to go to Toronto. Next thing you know, the game doesn't happen. And, you know, here we are. And it's been a couple months now, and it's the new normal. Hopefully it doesn't last that much longer, but it's not in our control. We're just doing what we have to do in the meantime.
Yeah, and the number one reason why I wanted to talk to you is the new normal are these individual workouts, you know, and what is that like in Nashville? And quite honestly, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's certainly weird. Kind of having to have like even a staggered approach from the parking lot to the field. It's the complete opposite of what a normal day in training is. As you know, it's strange to be kind of quartered off in a field and to have, you know, we all have our session sent to us the night before. It's all well detailed and already set up. So we just have to get there and go through it, but there's a time constraint. So we have to be the coach and the player at the same time, keeping an eye on the watch, making sure we're getting through what we need to. But it's, you know, I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I'm not going to tell you it's normal or all that enjoyable because you're not passing the ball with anybody. But the way we're looking at it is, you know, this is a tough thing everyone's having to go through. Can we use this as an opportunity to get better on a personal level? We can't be doing any tactics. We can't be doing anything from a team perspective. But can you work in a way that makes you better than if you ever would have had this opportunity before? So trying to look at it in that way makes it a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, you're kicking the ball against the fence into a net, and you're not really playing with anybody. That gets old super fast. We're doing the best we can. Hopefully this phase of it, we can get some good news and transition into something a little bit more formal, small groups or whatever it may be. But for now, it is what it is. We got to, you know, try to make the best of it. And I think we're doing a great job. And we're lucky enough to be in a market right now in a part of the country where the weather isn't too bad and it's starting to have some sunny days. So getting outside is a great thing.
Daniel, before we let you go, we've got about 30 seconds. This proposition from Major League Soccer, all 26 teams in Orlando, what's the conversation like amongst the players?
I mean, everything's moving super fast. We understand that this is something that every league across all sports, even within our sport abroad, we're all trying to find the right combination of ideas to make sure we provide the safest way back and to make sure that the players in the league have a deal and that we know what we're doing and the terms are well defined. But, you know, we continue to work through that. It's obviously an exciting prospect. We want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted in terms of what's best for everybody. We want to make sure we're safe more than anything, but, you know, it would certainly be another new frontier for us as a league, as a group of players. It would be exciting in a lot of ways. And we just got to see what happens. I think that will slowly or hopefully quickly start to take shape and what direction that's going to go relatively soon.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.